She's gonna look at.
There you go. Who's holding it? Alright, you ready? Were you ever curious of what each military branch has to offer? I was before, and now hopefully this helps you guys out as well. My name is Speech SPE, and I'll be talking to you guys about some 3 main points that I came up with. First, I want to introduce and give you guys some history of each branch. Then I want to tell you guys the main purposes. I'm also going to tell you guys what you need to join the military, like what you need, and also some jobs that they offer. Now, there's 5 branches in the military, and the 5 branches is the Army, Navy, Marines, also Coast Guard, and Air Force. The Army is the oldest military branch in the military, and it was created in 1775, and it has 3 different divisions. And divisions are active duty, National Guard, and reserves. Active duty is full-time, and National Guard and reserve is both 1 week in a month. You go 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. The difference of the National Guard and the reserves is the National Guard is part of the state, and the reserves is part of the federal government. Now, the Navy in 1775 was made in 1775, and their slogan is Defender of the Seas. They also have a reserves, but they do not have a National Guard. They can actually go on land themselves, but most of their job descriptions are on seas. They are actually the main support of the Air Force as well, because they have carriers. Now, the Marines were made in 1775 as well, but they were not their own branch yet. In 1775, they were part of the Navy, and basically what they did is they went and fought and took over the beaches for the Navy so they could actually land on the sea. They were actually their own branch in 1798, and they only have reserves as well. They don't have a National Guard. And Air Force, they're actually the newest branch that we have. It was made in 1947, and it is the main air support that we have. It also has 3 divisions. It has, instead of called National Guard, it's called Air Guard, which is the same thing as National Guard. It's part of the state. They also have reserves and active duty. Coast Guard is also on here, and it's considered the forgotten branch because everyone's always curious if they're actually a branch or not of the military, which they are because you still have to go through basic training. They still have initial training for whatever job description you pick. Their main job is to actually just guard the coast of America, and they stop from illegal immigration, anything medically wise on the coast, pirates, and they only have reserves as well. Now that we know a little bit of each branch, how and what do you need to join one? Now, depending on the branch, it depends on physically and mentally. They're all different. You also need to be a U.S. citizen, a U.S. national, or a legal permanent resident to join the military here in America. In the Army, you need a GED or a high school diploma. They don't care which one. You also need to be able to do push-ups, sit-ups, a 2-mile run. And let's say for all these branches that we're joining, you're around 17 and 21 years of age, because depending on your age, it's always different on the physical part. Now, if you're around 17 and 21, then you have to do 35 push-ups in 2 minutes, 47 sit-ups, a 2-mile run in 16 minutes and 36 seconds. Now, in AIT, which is Army Initial Training, which is right after basic training, instead of having to do 35 push-ups, you have to do 42. Instead of doing 47 sit-ups, you have to do 53. And then instead of 16 minutes and 36 seconds, you have to do it in 15 minutes and 54 seconds. Now, in the Navy, you need a high school diploma. You got to be able to do 46 push-ups in 2 minutes, 50 sit-ups in 2 minutes, 12 minutes and 15 seconds for a 1.5-mile run. In the Marines, you need a high school diploma, be able to do 3 pull-ups, 50 crunches, a 3-mile run in 28 minutes. In the Air Force, you need a high school diploma or a GED, but they're really strict on the GED. You have to have a really high score on the ASVAB or they won't accept you. You have to have a 16-minute and 45 seconds and a 2-mile run, and then you have to do a 1.5-mile run in 11 minutes and 57 seconds, 45 push-ups in 2 minutes, 50 sit-ups in 2 minutes, and also 0 pull-ups, but that's just their bare minimum for you passing. In the Coast Guard, you need a high school diploma. In 1 minute, you gotta be able to do 29 push-ups, 38 sit-ups, 1.5-mile run, 12 minutes and 51 seconds for the 1.5-mile run, and then you need to be able to sit and reach of 16.5 inches. And then you have to be able to tread water for 5 minutes. Also to be able to jump off a 5-foot platform and swim 100 meters. Now that we know the bare minimums to join each branch, what are some jobs that they have to offer? Now in the Army, I'm just going to go over the easy jobs for you because they have a bunch of actual jobs you can do. The easiest ones you can get into in the Army is obviously infantry and artillery. In the Navy, it's aviation and boatswain mate, and they have a lot of jobs inside of that. In the Marines, it's the same thing as the Army. It's all infantry. In the Air Force, it's actually pest control, fire protection, traffic management. And in Coast Guard, it's the same thing as the Navy. It's the boatswain as well. Also, so we just talked about the 3 main points, which was I gave you some history. So I told you about every little branch and how they started, and what you need to do to join one, and also some of the easiest jobs that you can get into. So that's everything I have to talk to you guys about each military branch. So if you ever want to join one or if you need to do some more research, hopefully this will help you guys out in the future. Thank you.